Prince Harry's security. Never away from the news very long, is he? But he has lost his High Court challenge, a legal challenge against the government. Bearing in mind, it's His Majesty's government. Of course, he brought this challenge when it was Her Majesty's government, his late grandmother. But basically, the King's government, the decision to take away his police protection when he's in the UK as a default thing. He obviously, at one point, remember, we've heard him say that he'd be willing to pay for having Metropolitan Police officers, armed officers, to look after him because he can't bring his own armed security from America, where he lives in Montecito in California. His lawyers had argued that he was singled out, he was treated less favourably. The decision to basically change the level of his taxpayer-funded personal security is basically not automatic, and that the impact of a successful attack on him meant the approach to his protection had not been fully considered and was unlawful and unfair. High Court Judge Sir Peter Lane, retired from the High Court, he rejected the case in a ruling earlier this morning. He ruled that the decision to remove police protection was not unlawful or irrational, and that there had been no procedural unfairness. And he said even if there had been such, the court would in any event be prevented from granting the claimant relief because basically he doesn't think there would have been any substantial difference. Basically, the committee that decides how much security he gets has said you don't need it anymore. Do you think they're right, though?
It's interesting because, you know, what he was saying was, in terms of the legal argument that was put forward, they said they don't think he's been singled out, they don't think that there's a particular threat. So in that way, yes, so he lost the case because his legal argument wasn't convincing. But I think a lot of us who look at Harry and look at what a high-profile figure he is would say, well, actually, you know, someone like that probably does need protection.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's the son of the king, so is Prince William. Prince William has round-the-clock security.
Yes.
But Prince William didn't serve in Afghanistan. Prince Harry did.
I know.
And Matthew, it's interesting talking to a guest earlier who was a former Armed Forces Minister, former military man himself, saying, look, you know, he chose to leave the royal family, but he didn't leave the royal. He left as a working royal. He's still a member of the family. He didn't have a God, I've got no time for Harry and his whinging and his money making and his wife and any of that. But you know, he fought for his country. He fought on our behalf, and he was born into a family through no choice of his own. And I think those two things combined make him a target and puts him at risk. And it seems to me he needs security.
I mean, maybe he doesn't.
And we should pay for it.
Maybe he doesn't need the same level of his brother. Maybe there was some sort of deal that could be struck. It's a bit of a pity that that did not happen. One point I will make, though, against Harry in this regard is he was warned about that, about leaving the royal family could mean, as a working royal.
You can't leave that job because your life might be at risk. I just don't,
It's horrible. I don't think that I think that to be born into that sort of rigidity must be terrible,
I wouldn't wish it. I've always said I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, but there we are. Well, we talked to Peter Blexley, former Met police officer, about that coming up very soon